Action.
What's up, y'all? It's l.o.a.f, Life of a Freshman, and I'm your main host, and these are my two co-hosts.
Armani.
Oh my God.
Alright, y'all, today we're going to be talking about all the social, emotional, physical health that comes with being a freshman at Sci High. And my first question that I have for y'all is, what stresses you out after a long day of school, and how can you relieve that stress?
What stresses me out after a long day of school is thinking about how I have to come back.
Okay.
Alright, that was funny, but the thing that stresses me out the most probably when the teacher is giving us buku presentations, especially since it's the end of the school year. But I cope with it by playing the game all day, not forgetting about it.
Right, okay. And I feel like what stresses me out the most after a long day of school is getting home and having to do more schoolwork. Like, that's what school's for. I do my work at school. I don't want to come home and have to do more. Like, that's a lot. Now, I relieve that stress also by playing the game and playing sports for real, because that's all I be doing. Yeah. Okay, so next is, how can you help a friend who's going through a hard time?
How I can help a friend who's going through a hard time is just making them know that I'm there for them.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. But I believe you should do that, and try to make them laugh a little bit, like be there for them.
Let them know that they're loved.
Yeah, let them know that you love them, and ain't nothing gonna get in between y'all.
Also, if someone's going through a hard time, I feel like you can't do nothing but be there for them, especially if you don't know what they're going through in a way. And that moves us on into our next question, which is, how can students regulate their emotions, like if they're having a mental breakdown or anything like that? I personally feel like when a student is going through something like that, it's always not the best to stay to yourself. Like, you should kind of open up. Also, if you don't have that trust to open up to someone, that's understandable. But don't just keep it to yourself, because that's just going to make you more angry. Don't hold it in, because that'll also make you more angry. I feel like you should let it out and express your feelings to others.
Yeah, to build on with that, like if you are not going to talk to a parent or an adult about it, at least talk to a friend. They help a lot.
Yeah, that too, and like if you going through something and you keep it to yourself, how is the problem going to be fixed? Especially if you can't fix it by yourself. So, yeah.
All right, and that moves us on into our physical health. So for physical health, I feel like stuff that's really important for physical health is sports and stuff like that. So my first question is, what sports do you recommend when in school?
I would recommend you play basketball, most definitely.
Wait, why?
I don't know, like it's just like a good exercise, but also football, because tackling people could maybe let out some anger.
Right, okay.
So yeah, that too, and a sport that I recommend, it'd probably be, I wouldn't say football, because you could really get really hurt playing that, but track is a nice sport as well.
I agree. I feel like track most importantly, because it's like it helps like breathing and stuff like that. And also I feel like really any sport, and especially in high school, because it's like you meet people and all type of stuff like that. And then the next question is, how can sports play a part in high school? I feel like sports play a major part when you're in high school, because you meet new people, make new friends, all types of stuff like that. Like, I just feel like sports is really important. It helps your physical health, mental health, and it might even affect the people around you by you playing the sports that you play.
Yeah, and sports is also good for the teenage brain because of a lot of the things that we go through, physically and mentally.
I agree with that. Sports could be a way to, have some time to yourself, like release some anger, especially in football, and in track, just forget about what's happening at school for now, and yeah.
All right, but for real, I think the biggest sport outside is them stairs, for real.
Yeah.
I agree. I lost 2 pounds just from walking up and down the stairs.
You'll probably lose a few calories.
Okay, moving on. Oh wait, first before we get off of this topic, I wanted to ask y'all: do y'all think that school is healthy? And if you do, then in what way? And if you think it's not, also explain.
I feel like yes, school is healthy because, like, again, it keeps the teenage brain productive. Also, you will meet new friends, new people as a whole.
I say it depends on how you spend your time. Cause if you spend your time with some of the dudes that ain't got nothing going on for themselves, and you know they getting into a whole lot of stuff like that ain't really the environment that you should be in. Cause what are you at that point?
I agree. I feel like school is healthy overall because, like Armani stated, it's healthy for the teenage brain to be productive throughout the day. But also, I feel like school come with a lot of responsibilities and all of that you must take care of. And I feel like you actually need that because once you're older and are off by yourself, you're gonna need like some of the I'm gonna say activities that you're going on in school. You'll need it like once you're not in school anymore. But I also feel like school can be like not as healthy sometimes because of the people and like what you're around constantly, and I feel like that's not always healthy. That moves us on to social. With social, I don't know. I have a few questions. Like when you're in school, I want first say so when you're like socially involved with a lot of people, that's how mess and drama tend to start. So I want to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about drama starting at school, and like, do you feel like it's a way that it can be stopped?
How I feel about the drama is, I mean, obviously, drama is not a good thing to have around you, but it may be entertaining to watch, but don't always be right there while it happens. Like, drama can get you into a lot of trouble, no matter how it is, and drama can also affect your future. And yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Drama and mess could really be detrimental because there was a time in school where I was getting into buku stuff, and I missed a whole lot of school. Barely even learned anything in school yet because of it. But
Okay, and y'all basically answered my next question, which was how does drama and mess affect a student life outside of school? And I want to start off by saying it could physically put a student or a person in depression for feeling hated or disliked. And I feel like that's a problem, and we should actually stop that as a community.
I feel the same way, but I feel like even though it's bad, drama can also build, character. Like, because of the drama that a person will go through, they will know how to handle it if they ever get back into drama.
Yeah, exactly like he said. Being in drama, it's not a good thing whatsoever, but it does help build character and yeah. Plus, it could affect you outside of school by like what if you see this person on the streets? What's really gonna happen? And yeah.
Okay, my next question is, how can you avoid drama?
You can avoid drama by staying to yourself, or stay to the friends that you know are unproblematic. And if you do have friends that are that way and you don't want to leave them, because you might trust them, lifelong bonds, or whatever, just try to stay away whenever you know that.
Leave them at a distance.
Right, like, yeah.
And yeah, like you took the words out of my mouth. I ain't even gonna lie.
Okay, well, basically, yeah, it's the same thing. I feel like to avoid drama, all you have to do for real is like, just distance yourself away from it. Try not to surround yourself with it and stay more to yourself. Like, friends are important sometimes. They might get you through a lot of things, but you don't need friends. You never need friends. And next is advice. So we're going to talk about advice that we give to incoming freshmen. starting off first with like physical, mental, and emotional health.
Mentally, I feel like, you have to just be ready to like, move on because every day is just a moment. You're going to get through it and don't procrastinate.
I'm bad. I'm bad at that.
I know I am too.
I'm real bad. Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so I feel like advice that I have for incoming freshmen is mentally, it's like just preparing yourself. It's not the same as middle school, but it's also not that different if you stay on your stuff. Like if you on top of your work and on top of your stuff, it's
You'll be
really
fine.
easy. It's really easy at points. But also, it's like if you're not paying attention and you're not doing none of that, then like if you're not paying attention and stuff like that, it will get hard on you because you'll have a lot of work that you have to do, and like it's gonna be harder to catch up. And I feel like that's really hard to do, especially when you're an incoming freshman and you're not really used to all that as a middle schooler.
Exactly. And yeah, like in no time no ways you can procrastinate the whole school year. You just gonna lose out on the school year because this is the most important year. Like you might come in from 8th grade thinking, oh, I did all this, did all that. It's time to play now. That ain't how it works.
Yeah, I feel that same way, and I feel like I would want to get, some of what the audience thinks. So I will pick one person from the audience to speak. I pick Genesis, if that's your name.
You don't have to come out either.
You don't have to come, but would
Just
you like to?
give a piece of evidence. Give a piece of evidence to incoming freshmen.
You could talk from right here.
A piece of advice that you would give to a freshman.
Well, I would just say try to be focused on what you're doing, not playing around. Because even though this is your first year in high school, that don't mean you gotta play. It's actually a really important year in your high school experience. So just try to focus, do your work, and yeah, you can have friends, but try to actually find good friends and not people that gonna get you in trouble.
Okay, next, you want to give advice like physically and socially. Socially, I feel like you should play sports when you're in high school because you meet new people, you meet new friends, create very close and good bonds. That's how I have most of the bonds that I have. That like the people I trust the most. Like before people haven't came to the school with, I trust others, and this bond all started off of playing sports together. So I feel like playing sports really plays a big part in your high school experience.
I feel that same way. Like you most definitely should play a sport, but if you're not looking forward to the sports, try to put yourself out there. Like don't just be lonely. Like try to at least make friends. That's how I got, my good friend Amari here.
Yeah. And when you join the club, when you join the sport or something, colleges look at that, and they might find it easier to put you in their school, and
Okay, and we're really coming to a conclusion now. So is there anything that y'all want to say to end off before we end off our podcast, or any more audience questions you want to ask? Actually, I have a question for our audience, someone in our audience. Okay, so someone who has played a sport, Jace Thompson. So how do you think playing basketball affected your high school years?
I think basketball had affect my high school year in like a better way because I met new people and I created like new bonds and made new friends who I still talk to this day. And yeah.
Okay, and do you feel like it's important for other high schoolers to play sports?
Yeah, it's important because it keeps your body healthy and keeps you moving and everything, and it may introduce new interests in your life and made you move forward. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, so now as we end off our podcast, I want to give a great round of applause to my co-hosts Armani and Makai. host, Amari, and this is how we're going to end off our podcast, l.o.a.f, Life of a Freshman.